this slide, you can see what that cipher output is going to look like. From here, we're going to take that cipher query. Our Bedrock agent makes sure that this is a valid cipher query before it sends it over to the PuppyGraph query engine. And from there, PuppyGraph is going to use this query to get results from our data graph. And on the right, you can see a sample of what this would look like for those results. From these results, we're going to go ahead and send that result back to our Bedrock agent again to generate response using our open source service as well for context to generate that response to our user. And so on the right, on the left, I mean, you can see the result sample again. And on the right, you can see a little bit of what that response will look like. So as you can see, it lists some of the network interfaces, and it lists some of those virtual machine instances that it's attached to. So your security team and your security experts can identify that security risk with those network interfaces and obviously go and resolve them afterwards. And so now that we've gone over some of this as well, I want to go ahead and switch over to the demo to show you how this GraphRAG AI chatbot works. So let me stop sharing my screen real quick and switch over to our AI chatbot. So hopefully everyone can see this, but we've already been using this already for some responses. What I really want to quickly do is put in a very basic query asking it for a summary of the data sample set that we're using in PuppyGraph. So first I want to ask it, what are the statistics of this graph? And while the AI chatbot gets that response, I want to quickly navigate over to our PuppyGraph web UI portal. So from here, you can actually see the schema that we've uploaded for our data sample set here. And you can see the graph representation and structure and how it all works right here as well. You can even see the JSON file that we've uploaded here down here as well. But real quickly, I want to take a look at the nodes, our data points we have. We have private IPs, network interfaces, security groups, like we mentioned earlier in our presentation with our data sample set. And then we have these relationships between these data points, right? So network interface has this private IP or this public IP as well. And these are these relationships that our AI chatbot is going to be making contextual answers based on. So if we go back to our AI chatbot, you'll see that it's generated an output talking about all the nodes and all the relationships that are in this data sample set. And so this happens after that whole text to cipher translation. It sends over to PuppyGraph. PuppyGraph gives those results back to our Bedrock agent, and then it's going to generate this response. And as you can see how many nodes there are, 1,275, how many relationships there are, 2,506 relationships. And you can see some of that data that we were looking at earlier through PuppyGraph's web UI portal. So users, internet gateways, VPCs, and also the relationships, right? So access records, contains, and the nodes that have those relationships as well are generated in this output. And so just to take another look at how our text to cipher functionality works is after our AI agent takes this cipher translation, it sends over to here, where you can also use these queries through PuppyGraph's web UI portal. I'll go ahead and make sure I reload this PuppyGraph UI portal to make sure it's refreshed before I run some queries. Give that 1 second, and then I'll refresh. And that should be good now. And just an example of how this works, you can actually go into PuppyGraph's web UI portal, run these queries, and then you can actually see right here a visualization very quickly of the results from our data sample set. So you can see the security groups, and you can see the ingress rules that it has a relationship to. And so now what we want to do is ask our AI chatbot a natural language query version of this cipher query. So I'll go ahead and paste in this same exact question, but this time in a way that a user would actually ask it in natural language. So what are some security groups that allow open access to SSH? And this is basically what we're asking through our cipher query here on the web UI. We're looking for security groups that have a rule that allows public IP addresses and also that have the port 22, which is a huge security risk since it's allowing these security groups to have access to public users. So as you can see some of those results here as well. So you can see the security groups that have access to SSH, and it talks about how each of these security groups have at least one ingress rule that allows open SSH access as well. And it gives some explanation to this as well in the output as well. Now let's go ahead and test out some more queries for AI chatbot. One thing your security team or expert might be interested in is knowing how many VM instances or seeing which VM instances have public IP addresses attached to it, since you don't want your VM instances open completely to the public internet. And so we can ask our AI chatbot this as well and wait for the response from the AI chatbot. And again, this natural language query is being translated into Cypher, being sent over to PuppyGraph. Those results are sent over to a Bedrock agent, and this is where that response is coming from. So based on data, there are some VM instances that have public IP addresses, and it'll list the VM instances that have those public IP addresses, and it'll also show the actual IP address here as well. And it also talks about how it has network interfaces associated with both private IP addresses and public IP addresses as well. So it's taking that data, that data graph and PuppyGraph, and really making those context-aware answers and outputs for our user here. Last, we can give it one more query to see how this works. We can ask it where are some network interfaces that aren't protected by any security group at all. So we're looking for network interfaces that have no security groups attached to it, which is a huge security risk since these network interfaces need to have some type of protection from malicious actors and users on the internet. And so it analyzes that data, and it talks about how there's 94 interfaces that aren't protected by any security group, and it gives us some examples as well. So we have these network interfaces with their IDs, and it shows, it talks about how these don't have any security groups, and makes your security expert and team aware of this so you can resolve this immediately. And so that was a quick demo of our AI chatbot. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Jazz to conclude the presentation, but thanks for following along with this demo, and hopefully it was helpful.
Yeah, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. Give me one moment to go back to sharing my screen. Yay. Okay, I hope everyone can see it. So as we did mention, I think you have access to the PuppyGraph cybersecurity demo if you want to take a look at the data that we used in this presentation. And if you want to play around with PuppyGraph, we do have a forever free Docker version available for download on our website because we know how much engineers love playing around with the products themselves. We also have the Apache Iceberg Digest ebook if you're interested in learning more about how Iceberg works and how graph analytics will work on that. And if you want to learn a bit more on how to set up the agents and everything, we also have the AWS Bedrock demo you can just scan the QR code and play around with it. So I think there were a bunch of questions in the Q&A that we were a bit too eager to answer, so I'll just reopen them so everyone can maybe gain more insights from it. So I think Ozan Ekin, I'm sorry if I butcher your name. I think you asked, what is the data loaded to PuppyGraph? Oh, sorry. You asked, what is the data loaded to PuppyGraph in this architecture? Is it a kind of projection from the original S3 table or just a schema? Waymo, would you like to take this question?
For this question, actually, we are doing a lazy fetch. So even you have a petabyte of data, but we won't preload any to the public graph. Only when a query is issued, and then we will do the optimization and know which part of the data need to be read, and then lazy fetch the data from data source.
Yeah, and then, okay. So can we think of PuppyGraph as a GraphRAG engine for structured data? Yes, but actually I think we also support MongoDB, so we're like expanding slowly beyond just like your traditional relational databases as well. And then I think another question, do you have any benchmark numbers related to the accuracy of Cypher queries generated from the text? Waymo, would you like to take this one as well? I think.
This is really related to the quality of a prompt. And we have some customer, like for example, AMD in production, and their feedback is pretty good. And we also give them a way to increase quality more and more. So like when some question cannot be answered, then we can just add the example into the prompt, and then time by time the quality will be better and better.
Yeah. Oh, I think we also have another security company, Prevalent AI, that reached out to us for a similar use case. So I think it is being used in production as well. Yes. Okay. And then I think, Harry, you asked, how does PuppyGraph scale when I have terabytes worth of data? So PuppyGraph is actually built for petabytes level scalability. You don't have to worry about that. We leverage parallel processing and vectorized evaluation technology. And because we are a distributed graph query engine, more machines equals to better performance for you guys. And then, Waymo, do you have anything you'd like to add on to that, or?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, okay. And then I think Harry also asked, do we have a cluster implementation for PuppyGraph? So Waymo, if you want to take over.
Yes, we design as a distributed system, and you can use Kubernetes to have a cluster deployment.
Mhm. And Ozan, don't worry, this whole Q&A session is about asking questions. Thank you for asking questions. So you're saying, what is the role of Amazon OpenSearch in this example? You store your data in S3 tables, your schemas in PuppyGraph, and you use PuppyGraph as your query engine. Are you also storing the embeddings in OpenSearch here? Sayed, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, of course. So OpenSearch, we're using it as a knowledge base for your unstructured data. Like if you have security SOP documents or things like that that aren't really structured data, that's where that OpenSearch knowledge base is being used for to help you give additional context to those generated answers.
Mhm. Nice. And then, hi, Kevin. Thanks. Thanks for coming to the webinar. Okay. And then, Hari, is there an easier way to model the graph in PuppyGraph modeling for each and every table? Yeah. So I think right now it's an experimental feature, but we are trying to once you have your seed node, you can see what connects to it and slowly build the graph schema from there. Um, Waymo, do you have anything to add? Like what else is in the pipeline for us?
Yes, since usually our customer, some of them will try the auto tool at first, but before in production, definitely we need to double check if the graph schema is what they want. Since for the same, for example, for the same 100 tables, they can be different graph design. So the auto tool just give you a suggestion and the initial draft. But of course, you can modify the graph schema, and then later you can make sure you have the graph schema you want.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, another good thing about this is that you get to view the same data from multiple angles because it is just like a very flexible schema.json file that you're editing. And so like, let's say if you have the same set of data, cybersecurity teams can use it, finance teams can use it for detecting customer churn and stuff. And so in all honesty, yeah, it's really how you want to model your data. Okay. And then I think,
I saw in the chat also Jiten asked a question. Oh, we recently released the feature of multi-tenancy. This is a how tool from a lot of cybersecurity company, and they propose the feature request at the same time. So we just released it soon. I think 2 days ago. I think yeah.
mhm. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so I think while we really breezed through these what customers are using PuppyGraph today, um Waymo, would you like to give the list?
Cool, cool. Yeah, yeah, sure, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I think we do have quite a lot of cybersecurity use cases, cybersecurity companies that come to us just because of the nature of it, right? Because when you're trying to, like attackers are trying to get into your system, so they'll take very complicated paths. Um,
Oh,
so I
and
think we have like, yeah,
also,
yeah, go ahead.
also Harry as the next question, which customer are using PuppyGraph today? Oh, we
Mhm.
have a lot of big logos like AMD, Palo Alto Network, and Coinbase, and Netscope, and recently we're from a different industry, but I think half of them are from industry cybersecurity
Mhm.
companies, and more than half of top 20 cybersecurity companies working with us. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And then, are there any other questions? Okay. Well, just because I'm curious, so Syed, how was your experience building this entire demo for us? Like, was it smooth? What interesting things did you note when you were building it?
Yeah, very smooth. I mean, with PuppyGraph's like query engine, it's just you connect your data source to the query engine, and it's very smooth. You upload that schema JSON file, and from there you can start building, right, the AI chatbot. I mean, you connect your Lambda function, your Bedrock, which is pretty easy as well. So very smooth. It wasn't bad at all. Very fun actually, since PuppyGraph makes it easy for me to connect to my data source. So yeah, it was awesome building it with you guys, and really appreciate being able to do this.
That's great to hear. So how long exactly did you spend trying to make the demo?
For me, I mean, it took a while just for me because I'm not that smart, but
Hmm. Whoa, 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 don't
for a
say that.
regular
You did great.
yeah, but for a regular person
Mhm.
with the samples we have with the links we have on this presentation, it's pretty easy to get started making this, especially with strands that's been recently announced. You can make a Bedrock agent
Mhm.
and connect it to PuppyGraph to a lot of this functionality that we showed in today's demo. So
Yeah,
pretty
I think
easy.
it's it's really cool how like AI has evolved over time to like, address the problems that we've been facing kind of stuff. Like you can't shove in too much context at once. And then so we started iterating and like slowly introducing the context so you lead to the right answer. And I think GraphRAG is just another step to bring us closer to actual like AI tools that work at an enterprise level. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm. And then okay. Um Yeah, and then okay,
As we can do a last call for questions, so we have 2 more minutes, 1 minute.
yeah. Any other questions? Let's start this wonderful architecture diagram. Oh, I think, yeah. Can agents connect to GraphRAG? Um,
So AI agents can use PuppyGraph to be enabled and be able to use GraphRAG. So agents can connect to
oh,
that PuppyGraph query engine and be able to give those GraphRAG answers, those context-aware answers that take advantage of PuppyGraph's data graph.
yeah. We have an MCP server available if that's what you're asking. It should be available on our GitHub if you want to check that out. But yeah. Mhm. And then any cool. Okay. Yeah. Any last questions? If not, it's
Hey, no, someone
9:45.
raised their hand.
Oh,
Theo, if I, there you go. You can unmute, you can talk now.
oh, would you like to unmute?
Hi, Chang. I think
Mm.
you raise hand and you are allowed to speak.
Would you like to type in chat maybe? Hmm.
No worry, we can follow up with the translator.
Okay,
Oh,
let me
sorry,
just.
having issue with Zoom. Oh, okay, got it. Feel free to type
Okay.
your question.
Can we build long-term LSTM using PuppyGraph? Waymo, would you like to take that question?
Yes, it's currently we even can something like convert your existing data as your AI memories and but for short-term one, I think we have some writing to back to data lake things, and then you can store the context you just collected and write back into the data lake.
Oh, Sehir Chang asked, is there a link to the presentation? You'll be receiving a recording in your emails. And also, yes, we will be including link to the presentation if you want to review it again. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? If not, I think, oh, brilliant. Okay. Oh, thank you. Such kind words. Okay. Yeah. Okay. If not, I think we've gone over the session. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope it was an enriching experience and I hope you guys had fun. Okay, then. Thank you so much for coming. I'll stop sharing my screen now. Have a great day.